Yeah.
But, you know, knock on wood, you know, it's 2 years and things are free. And,
That's great. No PSAs come back?
not at all. Hasn't risen once. So I'm just like,
That's always scary, even after you go through it and have your prostate removed, if it had spread and they haven't caught it.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine that's going through this right now. He's on the shittier side of that, where he had his taken out. His PSA level was going.
My PSA started at 2, went to 6.8,
Holy shit.
7.1, and now it's back to 6.5, which is still.
Fuck, that's still high, man.
It's
Wow.
good. So I just had an MRI
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, and it came back at 2, pyrites 2, so it says that they said
Yeah, it's a good.
cancer's unlikely,
Yeah.
but I need to watch it. So I'm on active surveillance until Halloween or Thanksgiving time. I'm going to go back, because I haven't had a biopsy at all. I just had I don't want it unless I have to.
Well, I tell you what, they did the biopsy, so I think it's 11 samples they took, and you know how they do it. And so you're laying on your side, you're fucking awake while they're doing it. And I'm telling you what, I never felt pain like that before. Oh, fuck. That was,
you had the one point in your ass.
yeah, and I was laying on my side, and they fucking whack, whack. I mean, you could feel it. Oh, just
Okay, tell me. I'm
Right.
gonna take this cape off.
Yeah, yeah.
Get a darker one real quick.
sure.
I know I'm pretty high, but the thing is, my pyrites were at 2, so they said, you know, cancer is unlikely.
Right.
But so Thanksgiving time, I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna do 2 PSAs between now and Thanksgiving.
Good.
And see, I mean, if it's going the right direction. But I mean, it usually continues to extremely rise. So
Well, and the fucked up thing is at our age too, it was sad because they said they call this an old man disease, and I go, yeah, okay, we're all over 50 here, we're closer to 60. But the point being is you know, usually people in their 70s is when they start getting this disease. And they were saying for me, I was what 50, 54, and 55, yeah, 55, and so like you're fucking young to have this, but it just. They got it. They got all of it out of it. So I was just like, I told people to test it. All right. So I really like when we do this and we do the real hard point.
okay.
To the point here.
So that very middle, do you want to leave that? Mean do a point into that?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, like when it comes down, I love the hard edge this way and the hard edge that way. It comes out really nice when I style it. As far as the top goes, I like the length here, but man, the sides are just killing me. And when you did it last time, it was good. But of course, as soon as it grows out a little bit, then it was like sticking out, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if I can leave more length here, but make it shorter there.
Probably have to cut because it sticks out. I'm
Right.
probably gonna have to carve it so it lays on this
That's
side
the
like
thing.
I did last time.
Yeah.
In through here.
Yeah.
Which is probably what I recommend because if I take
like-
this and you try to leave this,
It'll
the
just
only
stick
way to
out.
get it to lay down is
Right.
heavy product.
I mean, I'm just trying to think. It's like, it's either that. I was thinking about just getting a razor and just
No,
all
I
over
mean
the
if
thing.
you want to keep this top heavy, I mean I would still work on getting rid of this side.
Yes,
So
100%.
blend it,
Blend.
take this. So this side's a little bit shorter than this side will have to make it look symmetrical.
Yeah.
And then I'll just
Trim that up. Yeah.
just dust this off.
Yeah.
And then in through here, take
You
it
know,
down
dig
to
it,
like a
yep,
3/8.
exactly.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
Line this up.
Yes, sir. But yeah, it's a horrible thing when you figure it out that you have it, and then after the surgery, there was a lot of learning curve, you know, because obviously if you talk to your doctor about it, you know that there's done a lot. Okay, so you know that there's obviously 2 things that hold your urine in, and so when they take the main muscle out that does that, your secondary now becomes the primary. It took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while.
So that's what I'm worried about, not being able to get it out, pissing myself, you
Well,
know.
yeah, I mean that. Unfortunately, my sex life, once they did it, was done.
Huh?
Once they did it, it was done.
So,
They had to dig up too much of the nerves around the area, and that was the nerves that couldn't go. Now you can do other things to get to this there, but yeah, it's not natural anymore. No. They can't even take pills. So, but I said, fuck it, that or cancer or die.
yeah, you know,
I like
comes
living.
down to it. You know, we want to live on having,
Yep. I've had my kids, I got grandkids, I'm good. That's all I got. Yeah, I mean, as a woman, this is
I'm sorry.
I do too, man. Right. I know. nutrition isn't that work. You know, they're not taking out maybe the nerves to go back. But I do. It makes it there and it gets fed. And just to put things in perspective, my dad died of cancer in 2023. And so he had cancer that was in his stomach area that spread to his liver, that spread to his kidneys, and went up his spine into his brain. So that happened before I found out I was had cancer. So I was just like, holy shit. So I'm like, nah, it's good. Get it out of my body.
Yeah, I think if it came down to it, that's what I'm gonna end up doing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, well, I got a little 6 month break
Yeah.
from it. You know, kind of gives you a little bit more time because I've done a lot of research on it.
Sure.
And you know, for the worst case scenarios, you know, they give me a pump, I'd be able to still
Yep.
give it up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, and that's, those are the options. And they have shots and everything else too as well. The shots actually work pretty good. But, you know, giving yourself a shot. Well, you know, giving yourself a shot. You're standing in front of your romantic with a woman, and you're like, hold on a second, I gotta,
Pump this baby up.
well, pump it up, and then I gotta stick it with a needle. But I tell you what, I see better. I just know that I don't have this shit in my body.
And I know, you know, I've got a really good relationship with my wife.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an excuse, and you kind of got a, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, excuse, you need a little houseboy or something?
Oh, trust me. You know what? My wife stepped up to a level that you would hope your wife would step up to. You know what I'm saying? I've been married over 33 years. So the thing is that she had to take care of me. Yeah, catheter in, and the catheter was leaking. She had to deal with that horrible mess, and then cleaning me out. I mean, it was just, it was not, I don't know. Not your most perfect moment as a man. You really show your vulnerability at that point.
John and I have been together for 25 years.
Wow.
So
Oh, yeah.
We haven't worked out our relationship yet. You know, it's like now.
Right. Well, it's great. I mean, it's when you find that right person, because I tell you what, as you get older, you really got to depend on them more than you really thought you would. When you're young, you never. Oh, cancer. What's that? You know, or I can go forever. You know, and no.
Well, when I went in, I just had my, you know, to get my MRI result last week.
Oh wow.
And he told me, you know, you're thyroid too, and cancer unlikely, and you probably just got BPH, and you might have some benign tumors in there. You don't really know
Yep.
for sure. You can do a biopsy.
Yep.
He said, but I don't really want you to think about that now. We still 6 more months. The thing was slow growing. The numbers, you know, have only jumped up recently, and they're going down. It's going down.
Right.
You know, it's not. That doesn't indicate that it is going down. It's just this last one was lower than the one before.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, if you did the MRI, so I'd be interested to see what those results today. You know.
You didn't do an MRI. You just did a biopsy.
Oh, I just went into the biopsy. Yeah, when they put the numbers, they said, okay, let's go ahead and because I wanted to know. I just like fuck it. Let's not beat around the bush anymore. Just go in there and do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
If it's negative, it's fake. So I suffered through a little bit of pain on the butt, but it wasn't that way.
And they wouldn't put you out. They wouldn't
Oh,
give
no.
you no propofol.
They numbed me, yeah.
It's still hurt.
Oh, because it's inside. You think about it. So, you know those little grabber things you used to push in and they go like this and then they grab? That's what it is. But it's like on a gun. So when they're
in the hole of the needle.
Yeah.
Comes out, grabs
Yep.
them on the
Yep.
sample.
And so they did that 11 times, and it was just like every time. But out of all 11 samples that they took, 7 out of the 11 were cancerous.
So it gave you a Gleason score of
Yep.
what, like 8?
Yeah,
10?
yeah, it was freaking ridiculous. I was just like, oh my god.
Did you have any symptoms before? I mean, how did you?
Yeah. So after the pandemic, you know, I was out of work for 18 months. I didn't have a job or really insurance. So I was like, you know what? When I went back to work, I said, I'm going to go and do a head to toe with my dog. I said, fuck it. I haven't done it in a while. I need to get it done. So I went in there and done it, and she went, what are your problems? Da, 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 da. And I said, yeah, well, you know, the problems were, you know, urination was one of them, right? That you always had to kind of go to the bathroom, but I just chalked that up as being old. It wasn't anything too outrageous. It's like once a night I had to get up and go to the bathroom. But low sex drive. Um, it was just that was the main portion of it. It was just like getting an erection and keeping it. It's like, what the fuck is going on with me? And I went and saw other urologists, which was funny. They never did a PSA test. All they wanted to do is palm me up on pills. And then that was wrong. Yeah, that's jealous. But all that did was give me a headache. It never worked. So my doctor said, "Well, this is not working. Then you need to do this test." That's how it ended up going. So my primary care said, "Hey, go get your PSA level test," and that's what started me on this path. A good urologist in Vegas, Dr. Casino, a really good guy. And yeah,
I go to Las Vegas urology.
yeah, that's the same one I go to.
What was your doctor?
Casino? Yep.
Did he do the surgery?
Yeah, yes, he did.
Did he do it freehand or did you have the
Robotic.
Huh?
Robotic.
You did other robotic?
Yeah. And everything was quick and it came out very successful, but he had to tell me, he was like, I had to take more out around the area, that I would have liked to, but he said, I wanted to make sure that, we were safe.
You don't want to get your numbers
I
back
said,
up
no,
again.
I don't want to go through all that shit.
Then you have to do radiation.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is you would do radiation, but it wouldn't be on your prostate because it's gone.
Yeah.
But it would just now be on other parts of your body. So, yeah, it was a big decision, but when he gave me the choice, I made it like instant. Like, no, get this shit out of my body.
Just like that, yeah.
I don't want to have this living with it.
I've got a few guys that come in here that are exactly that same way, One guy is still, he just had his test and, no nothing, no PSA at all.
Right.
But, he's got to do one more and then he should be in the clear.
Good.
You hold your breath.
Oh, God, yeah. No, it's, I went and took the test and I'm thinking, yeah, all right, I got an issue or something. I never thought about cancer. So you sit in that office and they say, yeah, after they did the biopsy, 7 out of the 11 were cancers. And that hits you hard.
Yeah.
It's like, holy fuck. You may know somebody, so on and so forth, but that's had cancer, but until it happens to you, that's what it's real. You're like, holy crap.
My mom's brother, my uncle, he died of it because he let it. He just said, nobody's touching nobody's messing with my junk. He made it to his mid-70s. He lived with it,
Yeah.
for, 10, 12 years before it spread to his whole body, and,
Yep. Well, that's kind of what my dad do. He never went, I got a pain, I'll just tough it out. He's from that generation, and unfortunately, it was the wrong move. He should have always gone and went to the doctors and followed up on the stuff. But I don't know. Some people too don't want to know, right? They're like, I don't want to know. If I die, I die.
got a guy that comes in here, and I actually cut him yesterday. He was over 13
Oh,
the last time.
shit.
And he's like, he's not doing anything.
How old is he?
Oh, he's retired chiropractor too.
Oh my
In the
God.
medical field.
Wow.
And his PSA was over 13. He said, fuck it, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't
Wow.
doing nothing.
If you're over a certain age, that's what the thing was.
But he's not. He's like our age. He's
Oh.
like our age.
Then he's super. He should definitely go get take care of, otherwise he will be dying soon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Just because you're scared, and then I always want to ask people. Like, I'd like to have conversations with people that are going through it or about to go through it, like yourself. 'Cause there's a lot of questions that I needed to have answered that I didn't get. I looked up the internet, I tried, so on and so forth, but I didn't know anybody that had processed it. So, I mean, everything from having to learn how to hold your urine again, and the tips and tricks that I did, and everything else, to get through the day, so you're not pissing your pants and shit like that. I mean,
Do those Kegel exercises.
well, that, yeah, I mean, that was a big thing, but, just having more positive attitude. And I tell you what, because otherwise the depression, it kicks in every so often about it. I'm good now, but
And a lot of, that psychological
Yeah.
self-worth,
yep.
you lose the ability
To
do it,
yeah, do your manly duties. But it doesn't make me a less of a man. It's just I'm still alive. So I'm here for my kids, my wife. Otherwise I could be
chair, just collapse and just fall asleep. It was so weak towards the end.
Well, see, I didn't want to go through that shit. I didn't want to go through radiation or chemo. I didn't want to. It's just like we can do all this and this, that, and the other, and you got to come in every day. I'm like, fuck it, just do the surgery. I just rather deal with the recovery and get it over with.
Well, I know that, I mean, when I talked to him, I said, you know, if we come back in November and we have a biopsy, can I have the transperitoneal one? He said, absolutely. It's a little more expensive sometimes the insurance doesn't cover it.
Right.
The research I've done, I said, I want that one. You know, it goes in your taint, but they numb you down. I mean, they'll give you propofol too to knock you out completely.
Oh, really? Well, see,
for that one. So
I
I'm
would.
like, oh,
Yeah,
that's the one I want.
I didn't get that option, but
I had to ask him for it.
Oh,
I
really?
said, because between, because he jumped to right to biopsy when he said your numbers aren't extremely high for an extended period of time. Just looking at my trend, because I started to get PSAs the last 2 years, and I was below 2,
Right.
and it jumped from a 2
Yeah.
to a 6 all of a sudden. He's like, you should probably do a biopsy. And I told him, I said, well, what about doing an MRI first? He's like, yeah, you could do an MRI first. And then now he doesn't even want me to do the biopsy because I was at a 2. But, you know, it really just gave me another 6 months, you know, because I probably, if my numbers, they don't usually go down.
Yeah, I
On
don't.
their own.
Well, they don't. I mean, there's a reason why those levels go up, right? It's not like a cold or a fever. It's just, you know, there's something fucking wrong. There's something fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
But I've been hitting the supplements, I mean, the
Yeah.
Prostagenic, the salt palmetto,
Yeah.
pure pomegranate juice, pumpkin seeds. I've been doing it ever since, you know.
Yeah, well,
and
I mean, if it's bringing some of it down, that's great. But my whole thing was when I mean, like I said, when they said, okay, we're gonna do a biopsy, it was like, when can we do it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit. Just get it done because the waiting is killing me, right? It's like, is it cancer or is it not cancer? I just want to know because if it isn't, then great. Then what do I got to do to bring it down or eat healthier or whatever?
good thing is it's usually slow growing, you know, so you got a little time.
You do. But when mine jumped, when mine jumped up from where it was, like 4.5, then just before, and it was climbing up. So when they after they did the biopsy, found out it was cancer. See, that was the big thing. I had cancer, and it was only at 4.5, right? So you would think it'd be like, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal, but.
Run your hands through that. Still need to cut the top. You kind of see that gist of still some hairs on that side.
Yeah.
Need to cut.
Yeah, it's hard. I have such a weird colic on this side.
But I almost feel like this top portion needs to stay.
Yeah, just to have the weight, I guess. Yeah, I mean that looks fine. I mean,
that looks good.
Yeah.
And once I cut this back a little bit, you okay with the shortness on that?
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, you can
go shorter.
You can go shorter if you wanted to.
I think it's good.
Okay, because my hair grows pretty fast, but yeah, no, it looks good. I just
Yeah, I mean that's down to a 1.5.
Okay. Cool.
To take the weight out of there.
Yeah.
I got to take some of that.
Some of that, yeah. Yeah, it's I preach it to everybody. It's funny. I'm gonna give one. Have you had PSA done? People are like, what's that? I'm like, oh shit, here we go. You don't even know what it is. Let me tell you. Nobody talks about it. It's not like, hey, we're hanging out at a bar and we're gonna talk about prostate cancer.
Until you start to get it.
Yeah.
As soon as you said cancer, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I know you may have told me before, but the thing is that you told me before because it wasn't in my world. Now it's in my world.
Yeah, now you remember now.
Oh yeah.
It's funny once you start talking to other people about it, how then people will then actually then volunteer that, oh, well, I have it, or I need to get it done, or what is this PSA test, or why should I have it done? And I feel like a walking PSA as an advertiser.
Well, you know the thing is you had some symptoms. I have none.
Yeah, well, see,
I mean, I had none. I mean, the thing is,
I'll cross my fingers for you, dude, that's all it is, right? Like, okay, great, maybe it's just something wacky, but there's no cancer there that's causing it. But
it's funny that you say that. Not funny, but I have another doctor appointment with the fat doctor. I call her the fat doctor, because I'm on the semi-glutide So I've lost 15 pounds since January. It's the
Wow.
fat shot, whatever.
I did Ozempic.
You do Ozempic?
I
I've
lost
been,
20
I've been, I've been doing the semi.
Yeah.
I might have to go to.
I'll tell you, oh man, it was like they started you off at like 0.25 the first month. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not really seeing it. I'm like, oh, what's the big deal? I'm on it because I have high A1C. That's the drug that does it. The side effect of it is obviously weight loss. But man, I tell you what, after the second month, I'm like, wow. I was like, I wasn't eating much. I wasn't hungry anymore. And then I started noticing, God, my pants are a little loose. You know, now I'm in a year, almost a year into this. I've lost over 25 pounds, and it's still going down. And I'm at the one level shot. They go up higher after that, but you do it in stages. But I'm telling you what, I enjoy the fact that I'm not fucking hungry all the time because it was like, I was bad, sitting around watching TV and going to some munchies, or or I want to go have McDonald's every fucking night. And now it's more like I'll eat only half of what I got on my plate. And it's funny because I can just take it home. Like, I'll go home and I can't even eat a whole fucking burger. It's not that my stomach is smaller. It's just I'm not that hungry.
Yeah.
And when I take
stimulates that feeling.
Yeah.
I've lost 15 pounds since I started in January. Slowly. And I'm only doing the 30. I got a girl that comes in here that was doing like 65.
Wow.
Yeah. She's lost a lot of weight. I said, how much are you doing? He's like, I think I was doing 65. I'm down to now 45. I do 25. Now just bumped up to 30. Plus I don't want to get nauseous.
Yeah, right. Start up. Well, the thing about the Ozempic, I guess, versus other things, like I have to do Ozempic because, like I said,
You're getting the benefits.
I'm getting the benefits of it. So it's killing two birds with one stone. Now my A1C is right where it needs to be, thanks to this. So I'm just going to keep on this regimen of it. I'll just keep losing weight.
See that? I haven't cut any on the top. See that now with a little bit of product in there. I feel like that's
lays
good.
down a lot.
It's just way too heavy on that side.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's good. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm glad I'm on it because it does help. Anything else I've ever done, I tried diets and didn't have that shit. The biggest thing for me was what this does is it gives me the no hunger feeling, and I don't want to eat as much.
If you have any other addiction, it kind of takes away the cravings of that too. I hear. I mean, I'm old. I don't drink or smoke anything anymore, so I'm over that.
Right.
But I can imagine. I mean, that's what they say is a
Well,
lot.
I guess I don't. I used to drink. I used to have my Jack and Coke was my favorite. So, and I can go through a shit ton of that just sitting there by myself. I can't tell you the last time I had a drink. Like I had a couple of beers a couple of days ago at dinner one night. But I mean, for the most part, I still got full bottles of alcohol in my fridge that I ain't touched, and I don't want to. But
You think it's because of the
I think it might be because of that. Like you said, it creates that urge. The only thing that it's funny, the only side effect of this is the doctor was telling me, she's like, you may start craving chocolate.
Really?
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So this thing that's going to help me lose weight too is also going to make me give a craving for chocolate. And it's right, I do get a craving every so often. Like I gotta have like a couple M&Ms or and I was never a candy guy. I just wasn't a big fan. Yeah. So I thought, okay, well that's kind of strange. But everything else, as far as it goes, I just don't eat as much, which is a good thing for me because I was brought up like you probably. Finish your plate, everything on it, and you never left the table with anything on your plate. So I carried that on my entire life. So I was always, finish my plate. Now I'm 263 right now. I used to be 288. So
I'm gonna get down to about 175. That's my goal.
Really?
Yeah. I was there until I got sick a year ago. I went down to 135 when I got sick. I got to stay in the hospital because I was so dehydrated in my heart. They said I had heart problems, but I went through all that and found out I had nothing wrong with my heart. It was just because I was sick.
Right.
It put my stress on my kidneys and stress on my heart because of the kidneys. So once I got over the sickness,
right.
And wore the heart rate monitor, did tests and stuff like that, and said your heart's fine. Took me off, but Coumadin was what they put me on, and shit, my everything, it slows everything down.
Right, right.
You know, the heart rate, the metabolism.
Jeez.
I said, normally I run between 165 and 175 if I'm not drinking alcohol.
Right.
And
That was a big thing. Yeah, stop me drinking beer. Oh.
and now I'm 215 pounds. I'm like, what's the deal? He's like, the doctor was like, well,
Got old.
and that's what I said, when's it gonna, take me off this beta blockers? When am I gonna go back to? He said, you might never. It's like, because once your metabolism changes, it's very difficult to
Yeah, change it back.
change it back.
Well, and that's again, with the lesson with the Ozempic, I don't have the food craving, so I am changing my metabolism, but in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Using this drug, it just doesn't give me that. So you go to those stores and you always hear those things. Oh, buy this product here and it curbs your hunger. And it never does, right? I'll drink. I can go drink something like that and go, oh, okay, now I want a fucking chocolate cake.
But in sleep, those stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The stimulants there
Oh, yeah.
always just something I'm not into stimulants at all.
So
Coffee I can do.
yeah, coffee. I do a Coke here now and then. I really don't drink soda that much anymore either. I just don't want it. I'm actually just drinking ginger ale. But long and short of it all, it's you don't have the craving for food and you don't miss it. I don't miss it. I really don't. I go and I'll have dinner and I just make sure I order small stuff. Sorry, 1 second. My butt is ringing here. I don't know what's going on. Is it just texts or somebody? I don't know. Somebody's at the front door.
Somebody's at the front door.
Oh, and it's okay. I love having my house wired.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why. It
Well-
goes in my driveway, up to my door, or even in certain areas of my house, I got cameras just so that I can watch all the doors and windows.
I was telling you I have no symptoms, but the last 2
Yeah.
nights I've been up multiple times in the night because somebody broke into AT&T through the roof.
Oh, you're shit.
So I kind of ignore it. I'm camped up in here. So
Yeah.
cause I'm listening to podcasts or
Yeah.
something, and I'll ignore the notifications because somebody
Yep.
will walk by or
Yep.
a man will be on this TV
Yep.
and it'll say person
Person
in
in
the
the
shop.
room.
And like the last 2 nights I've been on it
Oh,
because
shit.
somebody went through the roof,
That's
AT&T,
insane.
and they took speakers and they ate their snacks. And I'm like,
Just kids.
shit, they haven't seen my kid's store over there. It's full of chocolate, full of candy.
Right.
Run your hands through that.
Yep.
See what you're thinking that. That looks good.
Yeah. No, I definitely like it. Way better.
It's not as short as the last time on this
Yeah.
left side, but
Yeah.
I think it
I
works.
think it will work because, like
Yeah.
I said, I got still some of that weight on it.
Yeah. So I had to take some of that off.
That's fine.
the top.
That's fine.
When it just falls.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too unbalanced. I thought this was going to end up looking
Poofy.
about, or having to skin it.
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
but that's laying pretty good enough, but I do have a little tiny bit of product in there.
That's fine. I got some at home.
Work on your beer.
Yep. I can't. So they stole speakers and ate their snacks. They
They
obviously
were
was
here
kids.
fixing the roof yesterday,
Oh.
all in masks. Because they're cammed up too, so they came in with
Yeah.
masks on.
It's crazy.
Yeah, hopefully I'm lucky. He just said your numbers could stay around the sixes, and that
You
might
know-
be your number. He said.
Yeah.
I was like, I know from doing my research, it's more.
Yep.
Not guaranteed, but pretty rare. Somebody's going there like a 6, 7, and a half process.
Yep. And like I said, I'm not trying to be the downer dude, but yeah, it's just there's certain things that have certain measurements that mean certain things, and it doesn't mean something else. There's something there. Something's going on. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm pretty getting mentally prepared for Thanksgiving time. I'll probably end up being scheduled for a biopsy, and I want to do that more painful than the normal one, but
That's
there's
why
no risk of sepsis.
Right.
And because it's more painful, they tend to be a little bit more likely to put you
Well,
down.
you I was just going to say, you'll probably go to the hospital to get it done. I actually went to the doctor's office, and they just did it there.
Yeah.
So, and it was quick. I mean, I got to say, they didn't take forever. It's just, yeah, it fucking sucked. I didn't,
Everybody I've talked to
Yeah.
in there, you know, said how painful and uncomfortable it is. It's had it. All the doctors that I've talked to, and the doctor, the girl that I go to here,
Mhm.
all these people, it's not that painful. It's a little uncomfortable. And same with the urologist.
It's not, I hate to say this and I want to be gross, it's not, the thing going in your butt. It's the fucking, when they pull the trigger, dude, when they pull that trigger, it's inside you. You feel that, it's a weird, I can't explain it because unless it's kind of like when you hear cramps, like sharp cramps that just come out of nowhere, but like 11 fucking times. They're really painful.
And
You're just
11's lucky.
Yeah.
Because 12 and 24 is what,
I'm just like,
common.
yeah, I'm just like, okay, like they did the test and they took all the pieces that they needed, they got it out there. But yeah, I don't recommend it, but it was fast. I gotta tell you, I got the diagnosis quick. It was like boom, done, and they sent it out. And yeah, they did.
The lady in that MRI machine was really kind of freaky.
Oh, yeah.
This was 3 minutes. I can tell you, being there for over 40 minutes.
Wow. A lot of radiation there, basically.
That's all right.
Good news.
Because I went, she said, well, you might have a little bit. That's a lot of radiation for
Yeah.
me to take. And we'll see when I go back to my PSA again.
Yep.
But I looked into a lot of research on the different types of radiation.
Mm-hmm.
And
It just scared me when they talked about it. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, say I'm thinking here, okay, great, I'll get the radiation, right? I don't have to have anything removed, everything will be
Yeah.
fine, the kids will be dead, I can still have my life, the way it kind of was. And then he's like, well, then there's the other side effects too. It's like they're shooting through your gut, basically. That fucks up your stomach. You're gonna have diarrhea for like a few weeks. And again, you're killing good stuff too.
yeah.
So and he says if the cancer doesn't die with the radiation, then they'll have to go in and take it out. And I'm just like, all right, well, so one way or the other, either I got to suffer through diarrhea, radiation going through my gut, and the possibility you're still gonna have to go in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck it, just take it out. I'm not gonna waste time, just do it.
So when you woke up after surgery,
Huh. Oh man, I tell you what. So that was probably the worst night of my life. So I'm in the hospital, and it's probably about 11 o'clock at night. And when you get up from surgery, you've got to pass gas and poop before you can leave the hospital, right? Well, problem is that I'm all doped up on pain meds, which makes me constipated.
yeah.
So I can't poop. And they're like, well, we can't, before you go, you have to do this. But here's the catch. The catch is the insurance is only going to pay for the hospital till midnight.
Take a shit.
Yeah, I had to fucking take a shit, force myself somehow to squeeze something out of there.
You had to prove it?
I had to prove it.
Oh,
Before they would
Jesus.
let me go home. So it's like 11:55, and I'm in there just like, fuck! And I finally keep out a nugget, and they're like, all right,
Look!
yay! And then, so here it is, it's fucking midnight. I got a catheter in, I'm in my car, and then all of a sudden, I gotta poop again. Because for a couple of things, they gave me like an enema, they gave me all of these things that didn't work right off the bat, right? Well, then it did. On the way home, dude, that late night trailhead. Dude, I'm in a fucking gown, carrying a bag because I have a catheter,
Oh,
going
shit.
into that fucking, the
Yeah.
hellhole. Oh yeah, and then had to take a huge dump in there. Then waddle back to the car.
Like a van. That's why
Oh,
I like
man.
having a van. I don't have it anymore. I miss it. That's why I
Oh.
kept my camper on my back of my truck, so just in case.
Yeah, I tell you, that was, and so then I had to do that and then go all the way home. Then I spent the next basically 3 months sleeping in my chair because I had catheter back. And so I had to have that hanging at a certain level so they could.
Yeah.
And my wife had to drain it. So yeah, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it, dude. The whole recovery part just sucks. You do get over it though. It just takes a little bit. You just gotta keep believing you can.
But if I, were to have to do it older, it's just going to get more and
Oh,
more
yeah,
difficult.
totally.
Look
Yeah.
here, right? They got a newer therapy out in radiation called proton.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it. Where it doesn't do, basically goes in and then explodes.
Oh wow.
So it doesn't do damage to
Like regular radiation.
yeah.
Wow.
But you're getting 5 to 10 versus having to go
Jesus.
30 or 40,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you get a super high dose of radiation, but it doesn't do the damage to the surrounding tissues. But it's close to 100 grand.
Oh my God.
Insurance isn't,
They're like,
because
fuck you, get it taken out.
Yeah.
We'll pay for that, but that's it.
Good God.
Isn't that sad?
So
Stuff.
it's the thing is that proton surgery it's fairly new, so it's not been proven yet. But the research is not done on it. It's highly successful.
Wow.
And you don't get any, none of the
Negative.
incontinence, none of the ED, none of that, and it's right there with. So in a few years, maybe, maybe they'll.
Come down and see how people cover it.
But
I don't-
100 grand, my
Dude,
God.
no, that's all. I'm glad I had really good insurance because when I had to go through all of that, there's no way I could afford it. No way. Glad I did.
Drink beer. I used to probably $100 to drop a night. It's been 4 years this time since I've drank.
Really?
And I went 5 years. 5 years drank for a year, and then now I'm at 4 years. So in the last 10, I drank 1 year.
You know,
Probably drank 5 years worth in that 1 year.
1 year, yeah, right, yeah, that make up. You know, I find now, because I can get a 12-pack of beer and it'll last me a month, Back in the day, that's an evening, yeah, that's an evening. So I'm more than happy now to just be the way I am now, where it's like, oh, back and have a beer or a drink every so often, and I'm just in a different frame of mind, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm just not into that anymore. I still like my beer and stuff. There's some good beers for sure. But I also find too that they get dehydrated.
say I don't miss the beer because I like to do it. It's like when I smoke, I like the cigarette I had.
Yep.
It's been over 20 years since I smoked
Yeah.
cigarettes. And putting marijuana, drinking. I used to think I had to have marijuana just because I've been doing it for
So long.
Yeah. But once I got far enough away from that, God, I don't miss that at all.
But,
Not
you know,
at all.
I do edibles just because it helps me sleep, and I never felt a lot of stress.
That's what put me in the hospital a year ago February. I got CHS, which is cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. And it's such a rare syndrome that happens to people that use marijuana. So your body all of a sudden after using it for a certain amount of years will start to reject it. And it becomes like an hourglass.
Really?
So you consume THC, and when you get to a certain level, your body says no more, and then you get the flu-like symptoms.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And a lot of, and when because I was diagnosed with it, and I had 3 more episodes before I finally
Oh, like,
I
oh,
go-
maybe I should stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you just get these really bad nausea sessions, and then you days of it.
Wow. Are you smoking or just?
I was making my own.
Oh, okay.
My own edibles. So
Oh, okay.
I'd go out to the dispensary out here, buy 3 or 4 ounces. You know, 'cause you could only get 1 ounce at a time when I was doing it.
Yeah.
So I'd get 3 or 4 ounces and then I'd make it. I bought a machine.
Oh
It's
shit.
called a Lenovo or Levo. I forgot it. You can't really sell it. It's got THC in it. You know, I'm like, well, I can't take a risk on put it on Craigslist and having some bored detective come in.
Yep.
You know.
Why are you selling drug though?
You know, I mean, I don't know. So I got it. So yeah, it comes down to you decarb the marijuana, and that machine did that too. So I just put it in there, we decarb it. Then I run Everclear in it, and it strips off the THC and cooks it down to a tar. And then that's basically what they put into edibles. I took it out a little early, so there was still enough. It was still not tar. It was still liquid enough to use an eyedropper.
Oh.
And that's what I would put in my coffee, put in my tea, put in my food.
So I do the droppers. We have the eyedropper stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like it's like drinking bong water.
Yeah.
But I do that, and then I'll have an edible, and it's like I'm at cruising altitude. I can't go anywhere, obviously, when I do that. But I only do it at night just before I go to bed. And you know, I spoke to my doctor with him. I said, look, I don't want to take regular sleeping pills and all this other bullshit. I said, I just don't. And, you know, so I said, look, I started doing these edibles. She's like, you know what? If it works for you, you know, it's just not going to say anything different. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, it was starting to give me a little bit of reverse effect on it, where I couldn't sleep. A little bit having more anxiety. I mean, now that that was a year ago, February, so it's been like 16 months. I completely quit cold turkey, nothing.
right.
And since because it was so fresh in my mind being so sick, the first 5 months were like easy. You know, and then I'm like, well, maybe I can, but I just haven't. You know, I start getting those, you know.
Yep.
You know. And but now I'm so far away from it. And man, I'll tell you, my habits are, I went 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I get a good
Yeah.
5 hours of sleep, get up and pee, let the dogs out, and then I go back to bed until 3:30 in the morning or till my alarm's set. I get up at 3:30 and pee again. And so I'm peeing twice a night.
Yeah. That's about right. I always have to time it out, so I'll stay up to 8, 9 o'clock at night at least, because I know then that way I can at least only have to get up once. Now. So. What?
That was
Hour.
sweet.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Just that.
Yeah.
It's funny when you first did this look for my face.
Did I do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You did.
The first time?
The very first.
I don't remember what it looked
Yeah,
like.
I was really big and bushy, and then you
Was it?
came in, and then you did this style, and it was funny because then I went into work, and all my clients were staring at me, and then they like remembered me because of that look. I just found it funny to say. It's like you have such a distinctive looking beard, and then I get every time I'm on a fucking call with my, we do our Zoom or Teams calls with the company, for our sales department. And I got guys in there trying to copy me right now. Oh, I'm trying to grow my beard like Eddie's and this, that, and the other.
Well,
I'm just funny. I just think it's funny.
It is funny.
It's like, set a look and how people want to do it. Because everybody was like with the big bushy stuff. I'm just like,
We see.
oh yeah.
So watch this, because I give myself
Oh,
your beard.
Jesus.
If I look at Donna's over here cutting hair, and I gave her mine. Watch, it'll speed up. It'll go. It starts off slow, but then it goes fast forward here in a second.
It's crazy that you're doing it yourself.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Here. I keep turning to her, and I'm like, yeah. So here's mine.
Yeah.
It's like a super long
Yep.
point. She's like, absolutely not. Right here.
Well, that's like, okay, there it goes.
Yeah.
There it goes.
I'm like, she's like, no.
Well, I think if you let it more bushy around the sides, I think that would have probably looked
Yeah,
good.
but I was just messing around. 'Cause
Yeah.
I knew I was done.
You were done, yeah.
Because I think I want to say January I cut it off. So it's been a year,
Yeah, I remember
15,
you.
16 months.
Yeah.
And got so big and bushy again.
Yeah.
This just feels so good.
I've had this length now for a while, so I don't really know what it feels like to have it all shaved off again. I often think about, maybe I'll just shave it all off and then start over because, but I'd never had a beard up until my, surgery and had nothing to do with it. So I'm always afraid if I cut it all off, is it going to come back? Because I never could grow a beard. I don't want to have to start over and then be all screwed up for months. Yeah. But yeah, trust me, every time I eat ice cream, it's like, fuck, man, all this shit just.
Hair stash, make sure that, because I left
Yeah.
the corners a little bit.
No, that's
Just
fine.
lined up.
Yeah. I definitely, I got
Yeah.
a little stuff that I usually just cut. Oh, that's neat. Oh, I
And
like it.
that's just flopping just about right.
Yeah.
There's a little product in there.
That's fine.
All right, brother.
Yeah. Right now. This guy's selling some pavers.
Buck a piece?
Yep. I mean, I'm telling you what, I'm cleaning up on this shit. I got a stack of stuff now. Last weekend, I got 216 paver stones. $1 each. I'm like $200. Look, they're
Got them from someone else, right?
oh, just used.
It's because they went up.
Dude,
so
they're
much.
like they're like at least $2.
I got 1,500. So there were the red ones
Yeah.
that I had delivered. And when I bought them, they were like 65 cents a piece from Home Depot. They brought them on 3
Yeah.
or 4 pallets. And now I keep seeing them. I see them like on
Yeah.
Craigslist, a buck a piece.
Oh, yeah.
Like, shit, I made money.
Well, off of that, but you know what? Now, if you try to go and get them, they're not cheap. So
Yeah, they're like $1.89 or something.
$1.89
like
to
that.
$2 a piece.
No, it's in the restaurant.
Oh.
Compressors on in there. Okay. There you go. Just work that out. Thank you, brother. Right.
look, if you ever need anybody to talk to about your cancer stuff, if you knock on wood, it's not. I'm more than happy to talk to you. Like I said, I had some tips and tricks and shit that I can tell you that I had to learn how to do, and save my sanity when I was going through it.
I have a feeling it's going to be a journey for me, you know. I mean, I'm not, you know, just because they told me, you know, watchful, you know, I could be lucky and watch it for years and years, and I could not be, you know, not so
lucky.
lucky.
Back of your mind going, fuck, you know, when is it going to hit me? And then it's going to be permanent.
Yeah, and then they metastasize, you know.
Then you're like, no, that's a whole other journey.
But I feel like, you know, now that Biden finally come out with it, you know, it's probably, especially if he dies here in the next year or so, it'll probably push the prostate a little bit further.
Well, it'll be front of things instead of always not talked about.
Yeah.
You know that.
Because he should have came out. There's no fucking way, you know, that he didn't know.
Government is that way, dude. Look, it's a fucking show, right? And the people that are running it, shit. He's this puppet.
Yeah, and he's 81 years old, so he's, you know, he's beyond really much of a treatment anyway. But at least, you know,
they can make him comfortable. Look, it's going to end up killing him, and that's the whole thing that my doctor told me. He says, look, if you were 70 some odd years old, I say, fuck it, just
live
fucking
it out.
live it out, because something else will probably kill you before this one.
Yeah.
He says, because you're so young, and you don't have that cushion. Now, if I waited until I was, you know, sitting in my late 70s, I might be dead already, because it would have already grown and gone other places.
And then you got to live in that miserable, sick state,
And
you know.
I told my wife, if I ever get to that point in my life, I said, I'm totally serious. I said, I'm just going to overdose. I'm going to get a fucking bunch of shit drugs.
Hopefully they pass that. Hopefully they pass it in Nevada to where you can take yourself out. Because you can't go to Oregon. You have to be a resident in Oregon for, I want to say, 12 or 14 months.
Oh, okay.
You can't just go up there.
You can't just hang out.
No, you can't do that. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, look, if I want to go and save everything, I'm going to go on my own terms. And, you know, unless they shoot themselves or not. It's messy. But if I was high as a motherfucker and I was just like, woo, and then I just fucking left.
Get you some of those one of the fentanyl patches. Just
put them all over my
in
body. Like, I'm going. See you later. All right, bud.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, you too.